It all started when they moved into the old house tucked away in a forgotten neighborhood. The previous owners had vanished, no one knew why, and the house had been left untouched for years. From the outside, it looked normal, quiet, even peaceful. But there was something lurking within. As the family unpacked, strange things began happening almost immediately. Lights flickered without explanation. Doors would slam shut, even when no one was near. And there was always that unnerving feeling.
Welcome to Whispers in the Dark, where shadows hold secrets and stories come to life. Imagination. You're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of our thrilling adventures. Join me as we explore the dark corners of reality where every whisper has a story to tell. Let the journey begin.
Someone was watching. It was on one ordinary night that things turned darker. The father was sitting in the kitchen, finishing his dinner, when he felt it, a cold, firm grip on his torso. His breath caught, and he looked around frantically, but there was no one there. He could feel the invisible fingers digging into his side, tightening as if to claim him. His wife came rushing in, but by the time she arrived, the grip was gone. There was no explanation, only silence. The family brushed it off, convincing themselves it was stress or imagination. But deep down, they knew the house was starting to wake days past, and the strange occurrences multiplied. Their dog began acting strangely, growling at empty spaces, eyes following something the family couldn't see. Then one evening, as the kids were getting ready for bed, they saw it, a ball of light floating at the top of the stairs. It was no ordinary light. It was fractal, shifting, almost alive. Slowly it descended, passing right through the family. They felt a cold breeze, as if something otherworldly had brushed against them. The dog's hackles rose, tracking the light until it disappeared into the living room. The house had its own presence, its own rules. Some things can't be ignored. Some things leave their mark. In the bathroom, the youngest child screamed one morning. Handprints. Tiny, child-sized handprints covered the bathroom mirror. No one in the family had such small hands. Every week they would appear again, smeared across the glass like a reminder that something was still here, still watching. The mother, determined to uncover the truth, did some research. She found out that a child had died in the house decades ago. That child had never left. The house wasn't just haunted, it was cursed. It was at night when the terror truly set in. As they lay in bed, right at the edge of sleep, the bed began to shake violently. Every night, without fail, the parents would be woken by the sensation of their bed being pulled by some unseen force. Sometimes it would start with soft vibrations, but it always ended the same way, jolting them awake with bone-rattling intensity. The bed wasn't the only thing moving. Objects in the house shifted, sometimes thrown violently across the room. They tried to ignore it, but how can you ignore something that follows you from room to room, shaking your very core? Then came the night when their daughter woke up screaming. At the foot of her bed stood a woman. Silent, unmoving, she stared down at the terrified girl. Her face was obscured, but her presence was undeniable. As the room grew colder, the girl felt paralyzed by fear, unable to scream until the woman disappeared into the shadows. When she described the woman to her mother the next morning, it was clear. It was the spirit of the house's former owner. She wasn't ready to leave, and she wasn't going to let them forget that the house still belonged to her. The father, desperate to get rid of the entities, tried to confront the house directly. He went down to the basement, the darkest part of the home, where the air always felt heavy, as if it was pressing down on him. He whispered a warning to the spirit. "We don't mean any harm, but you need to leave. This house belongs to us now." But the house had its own plans. That night, as they tried to sleep, they all heard it, the sound of heavy footsteps pacing the hallway outside their bedrooms. The house was responding, and it wasn't happy. The family had reached their limit. They decided to leave the house, but on their last night, the haunting reached its peak. The walls echoed with whispers. Footsteps thudded in the attic. Doors opened and slammed over and over, as if the house itself was trying to trap them inside. The father rushed to gather his things when, suddenly, the lights flickered violently and the room plunged into darkness. In that moment, he saw it, a faceless figure standing in the doorway. Its form was barely visible, but the terror it exuded was overwhelming. They ran. They left everything behind and fled into the night. As they drove away, they looked back one last time, and there in the window, the faceless figure watched them, waiting for the next visitors to claim. Some houses are built to last, but others are built to trap. And even after the family left, the house remained. Silent, waiting. It would not stay empty for long. The whispers in the shadows would soon call to someone else. Not all spirits rest in peace. Some remain, bound to the places they died. And sometimes, when you least expect it, you can feel their cold grip reaching out from the darkness. So, next time you're alone at home, listen carefully. You might not be as alone as you think.